a country with no army, where everyone is invited to a party at the castle by the prince once a year, or you can rent the entire country on Airbnb for an evening. It sounds strange, but these are the fascinating things about the Principality of Liechtenstein. Join me to discover 22 unique facts about this country. You will be surprised that although it is a small country, it has one of the highest GDPs in the world. Number 22. Liechtenstein has no army since 1868. Liechtenstein is one of the few countries in the world that has no army. It is one of 22 countries without a military. The only armed force protecting security here is the National Police, which has a total of 125 people, including 90 officers and 35 civilian support staff. However, the crime rate in this tiny country is still very low. Due to its small size, the Principality also does not have any embassies. Number 21. You can rent the country of Liechtenstein. Have you ever wanted to try renting a country? Let me know what you think in the comments. If I had enough money, I would also want to try renting a country for fun. And it's great that for only 70,000 euro, you can own the entire country of Liechtenstein for a night by renting it on Airbnb. Even if you rent the whole country, you can only drive around it in 30 minutes. Since April 2011, the Liechtenstein government has offered the option to rent the country for 70,000 euro per night, equivalent to 1.9 billion VND. In addition, they also allow the tenant to bring a group of 150 guests. During the validity of the rental contract, the 110 police officers of Liechtenstein will completely obey the orders of the tenant. However, you have to queue and book in advance. Besides, you can customize the street signs, also get the symbolic key to the country, have a wine tasting with Prince Hans Adam II. It seems like no one has ever participated in this deal, even though rapper Snoop Dogg seemed to have tried to make a plan to rent it in 2010 to shoot a video in the country. Unfortunately, he was rejected. Number 20. Liechtenstein has the longest lunch break in the world. It has an official lunch break of 90 minutes. It is not only the richest city in Europe, but also has the longest lunch break in the world. Residents are also discouraged from making any noise during the 90-minute lunch break from 12 sityaus to 13:30 and should not try to make noise after 10 p.m. or they will risk meeting the police. Number 19. The prince offered to sell the country to Bill Gates. Back in 2001, the Prince of Liechtenstein was trying to implement a series of constitutional reforms that would give him more power, specifically a veto and the power to appoint judges. When the controversy erupted across the country, the prince threatened to leave the country and take his family's wealth to Vienna if he did not win this reform. As for the country, the prince threatened to sell it to Bill Gates or anyone else who can afford it. While it is debatable whether you can actually sell a country to someone else, it would be quite interesting if this actually happened. In the end, the prince was supported by the people in a referendum, so this did not happen. If this had happened, what do you think? Let's comment and share your opinion. Number 18. The country does not have its own airport. The nearest major airport is in Zurich, Switzerland, about an hour-and-a-half drive from Vaduz. Liechtenstein only has a small plain in the north of the town of Schaan, which is used for agricultural purposes. If an airport were to be built, it would need to be located either on the Rhine River to the east or in the mountains to the west. So, if you want to fly, you have to take a bus to Zurich. Do you find this inconvenient? Let us know your opinion in the comments. Number 17. There is only one billionaire in Liechtenstein, but he owns 50% of the country's GDP. According to Forbes, Christoph Zeller is the country's only billionaire. He made his fortune in dental products, running a company called Ivoclar Vivident. Interestingly, the company's success means that Liechtenstein is also the world's largest producer of dentures, accounting for 20% of global sales. Liechtenstein is one of the richest countries in the world in terms of GDP per capita, thanks to its relatively low corporate tax rate of 12.5%. So many companies often locate their parent companies in the capital Vaduz. The company is responsible for producing 60 million sets per year with over 10,000 different models, thanks in part to its strong relationship with Bollywood dentists. Number 16. Switzerland accidentally invaded Liechtenstein. Switzerland accidentally invaded Liechtenstein 3 times in the past, all by mistake. The most recent time was in March 2007, when about 170 Swiss infantrymen wandered across the border and advanced more than a mile into Liechtenstein before realizing their mistake. By the way, I'd like to add that Swiss soldiers are armed with assault rifles but no ammunition. Speaking of the Swiss-Liechtenstein border, there are no border guards between the two countries. Both border areas speak the same German dialect, and citizens of both sides do not need visas to cross the border. Furthermore, they also use the same currency. Switzerland tends to see Liechtenstein as its 27th canton. According to an agreement between the two countries, Switzerland is not only responsible for Liechtenstein's security, but also has the right to represent it in certain diplomatic situations. The Swiss government apologized, and this was the first time the Liechtenstein government learned of the invasion. Liechtenstein, a country with no army of its own, admitted that it did not notice the Swiss invasion until it was informed that it had happened, because the country does not enforce border controls with Switzerland. And of course, in the end, Liechtenstein ultimately chose not to retaliate against its famously neutral neighbor. Number 15. Liechtenstein is the richest country in the world by GDP per capita. For many years in a row, Liechtenstein has always been in the top 5 countries with the highest GDP per capita in the world. In 2020, the kingdom held the championship with an average income of 180,027 USD, which is 7 times higher than the global average GDP. It was not until 2023 that Liechtenstein was overtaken by Monaco, making it the second richest country. In addition, Liechtenstein is so wealthy that it has almost no foreign debt. The unemployment rate of the people in this beautiful country is also super low, only 1.5%. In 2016, only 406 Liechtenstein citizens were unemployed, including women on maternity leave. The prosperity of this microstate comes largely from the financial banking sector. Number 14. Liechtenstein is the 4th smallest country in the world. Located between Switzerland and Austria, Liechtenstein has an area of only about 160 square kilometers, making it the 4th smallest country in Europe, after Vatican City, Monaco, and San Marino. Accordingly, Liechtenstein is only 1/8 the size of Los Angeles, USA. In terms of the world, Liechtenstein is the 6th smallest recognized country. Liechtenstein is also a landlocked country, located entirely inland. The official language of this country is German. Liechtenstein is conveniently located for transportation to other countries in the European region, bordering Switzerland and Austria, so European tourists can easily travel here. Liechtenstein is 774 kilometers from Paris, France, 852 kilometers from Rome, Italy, 473 kilometers from Frankfurt, Germany, and 523 kilometers from Vienna, Austria. If you are coming to Liechtenstein from Switzerland, the closest departure point is Zurich, which is only about 80 kilometers away. You can also travel from other European countries by bus or train, which is very convenient. Number 13. Women were only recently granted the right to vote. Women were only granted the right to vote in Liechtenstein in 1984. This was the last country in Europe to grant women the right to vote. There were referendums on women's suffrage in 1971 and 1973, but both were voted down. It took another decade for the final referendum to be held in 1984. The party won by a very narrow margin, 2,370 votes in favor and 2,251 votes against. Number 12. Low crime rate. Liechtenstein has one of the lowest crime rates in the world, with the last murder occurring around 1997 and the prison holding very few inmates. Citizens sentenced to more than 2 years in prison will be transferred to Austria. The crime rate is so low that ordinary Liechtensteiners don't even lock their front doors. According to figures provided by Doris Frick, Liechtenstein's ambassador to Bern, there are about 1,200 crimes in Liechtenstein each year. Of these, 150 are thefts, and there are no drug trafficking crimes. As a country with a developed financial market, perhaps financial crimes account for a high proportion of the crimes in this country, with 197 cases per year. Number 11. Liechtenstein, a heaven for tax evasion for the wealthy. Liechtenstein, although small, is famous for being one of the most prosperous and wealthy countries in the world. It is a global financial center with nearly 74,000 businesses from around the world registered to operate. Banking and secret financial services account for a large proportion of Liechtenstein's economy. This sector employs 14.3% of the workforce and contributes 30% to the GDP of 2.7 billion euros. The royal family owns the largest bank in the country. Liechtenstein has a total of 15 banks and more than 300 trustees who manage thousands of investment funds. Foreign clients like to invest in funds here because they can easily avoid taxes and keep their identities confidential. The maximum tax rate in Liechtenstein is only 18%. Due to this loose financial system, in the year 2000, Liechtenstein faced accusations from international organizations of providing conditions for Russian, Italian, and Colombian mafia groups to launder money. Under international pressure, Liechtenstein had to undertake legal reforms, compelling account holders to disclose their identities and prohibiting anonymous accounts. Number 10. Liechtenstein is a constitutional monarchy. Like many European countries, Liechtenstein is a constitutional monarchy. However, unlike other nations, the head of state is not a king or queen, but a prince. The current leader of Liechtenstein is Prince Hans Adam II, who ascended to the throne in 1989. The Principality of Liechtenstein has its roots in the 17th century, when Karl I of Liechtenstein was appointed a prince by the Holy Roman Emperor Matthias. His son, Hans Adam, later acquired the lands of the Lordship of Schellenberg and the County of Vaduz. Number 9. Low population density. Not only is Liechtenstein small in size, but its population is also extremely low. The current population of this European principality is around 38,000 people. The population density of Liechtenstein is also quite low, with only 227 people per square kilometer. In terms of both area and population, it ranks as the 6th least populous country globally. Schaan is the largest city in Liechtenstein with only about 6,000 inhabitants. Furthermore, the capital, Vaduz, located about 18 kilometers from Schaan, has even fewer residents, approximately 5,400 people. Number 8. Landlocked country. A landlocked country is a nation that lacks a coastline and is surrounded by other landlocked countries. Liechtenstein's only neighbors are Switzerland and Austria, both of which are landlocked nations as well. The only other landlocked country in the world without a bordering sea is Uzbekistan. Moreover, about 2/3 of Liechtenstein's terrain consists of hills and mountains, creating a landscape dominated by forests, hills, and serene natural beauty. Liechtenstein is likely to be an ideal destination for those seeking a tranquil and healing travel experience. Number 7. The wealthiest royal family in Europe. Do you think the British royal family is the dominant one in Europe? Well, you're mistaken. Despite being less famous, the Liechtenstein royal family surpasses others in terms of wealth. The current head of the constitutional monarchy in this country is Prince Hans Adam. In contrast to other constitutional monarchies, the royal family's wealth, amounting to nearly $5 billion USD, is predominantly managed privately with fewer constraints. The personal fortune of Prince Hans Adam exceeds that of Queen Elizabeth II by approximately 10 times. The royal family owns the LGT Group, with total assets around 300 billion USD. Members of the royal family also enjoy significant trust and affection from the people. The eldest son of Prince Hans Adam, Max, currently serves as the chairman of the LGT Group, a company that generates substantial profits from asset management and investments. Besides LGT, the Liechtenstein royal family owns land and real estate, including a castle overlooking the Rhine River. They have also amassed a large art collection featuring works by Anthony van Dyck, Peter Paul Rubens, and Bartolomé Esteban Murillo. What do you think of this royal empire? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments. Number 6. Rich cuisine in Liechtenstein. Despite being a small country, Liechtenstein has a diverse and rich cuisine. Liechtenstein's culinary scene is quite varied, and the principality boasts some unique dishes in the world. The winter months are the best time to visit Liechtenstein to enjoy hearty stews and broths, typically served with larger meals. The national dish is Käsknöpfle, a simple dough made from flour, eggs, water, salt, and pepper. It is then served with local cheese, onions, and finely grated apple. Next, if you're here, you must try Ribel. Until the 1970s, polenta was a poor man's dish in Liechtenstein's cuisine. Nowadays, you will find many restaurants serving this traditional Liechtensteiner breakfast dish. Ribel is made from corn and wheat boiled in water and milk before being roasted with butter. It is often enjoyed with a finely grated apple or various fruit and berry sauces. Dreikönigskuchen is also an interesting dish in this country. This dish is nicknamed the King's Cake. and the recipe varies in Liechtenstein, but the size remains the same. It is often found in bakeries and typically contains a small figurine hidden inside the cake. The cake dough is sweetened and then sprinkled with raisins and chocolate chips before baking. According to tradition, this is shaped into a crown, and a paper crown accompanies it. Do these dishes sound interesting to you? Comment if you also find them tempting, or if you have tried these dishes, let me know your thoughts. I find the king's cake here quite intriguing. Number 5. Every citizen is invited to the prince's party once a year. Every year on Staatsfeiertag, Liechtenstein's national day, the palace opens its doors. On this national holiday, Prince Hans Adam II and his son Alois invite the entire population and even tourists to the Vaduz Palace. People can enjoy beer in the gardens, along with a feast and fireworks in the capital city on August 15th every year. Isn't it interesting to have a country where everyone is invited to a castle party in the 21st century? Would you like to be invited to such a party? Let me know in the comments. Number 4. Liechtenstein does not recognize the existence of the Czech Republic and Slovakia. In the years following World War II, the later separated Czech Republic and Slovakia seized properties belonging to the Liechtenstein royal family, considering it the spoils of war from the defeated Germany. The seized land, which was 10 times the current area of Liechtenstein, mainly consisted of forests and agricultural land in Moravia, as well as some family palaces and accompanying estates. Although the Czech Republic later proposed returning only the palaces, interestingly, Liechtenstein rejected this agreement, opting for an uncomfortable attitude and refusing to recognize the Czech Republic or Slovakia as independent states. It wasn't until Prince Hans Adam II announced in 2009 that Liechtenstein would not take any further legal action regarding the seized property that the three countries resumed diplomatic relations. Number 3. A country known for its famous wine production. Liechtenstein is a country specialized in producing famous wines. Due to its ideal climate for viticulture, with slopes facing southwest, limestone soil, and an average of 1,500 hours of sunshine per year, the vineyards produce high-quality wines, especially in the southern region of the country. There are around 100 winemakers in this small country producing red and white wines. The most popular white wines are Chardonnay, Riesling X Sylvaner, and Gewürztraminer, while the most produced red wines are Blauburgunder, Zweigelt, and Blaufränkisch. Liechtenstein has several locations for wine tasting, with the most notable and famous among tourists being the Hofkellerei des Regierenden Fürsten von Liechtenstein, the wine cellar of the Prince of Liechtenstein. Number 2. Commuting to another country for work and returning home every day. Commuting to an entirely different country for work every day and then returning home sounds surreal, doesn't it? But that's the reality of this country. In Liechtenstein, education is compulsory and free for 8 years, from ages 7 to 16. Graduates can enter pre-university or vocational schools. Many students study abroad in Austria and Switzerland. Liechtenstein also has one of its 4 universities named Liechtenstein. Graduates all have stable jobs because they are trained according to society's needs. Besides, Liechtenstein emphasizes attracting talent. However, 5% of Liechtenstein's workforce works in neighboring countries and returns home every day, with Germany being the top destination, followed by Switzerland. Conversely, even though Liechtenstein has only 38,000 inhabitants, it welcomes 10,000 Swiss, 8,000 Austrians, and 2,000 Germans to work every day. To manage the country ahead of the risk of an immigration wave, Liechtenstein only allows 68 foreigners per year to live permanently in the country. Apart from the education system, Liechtenstein only has a small hospital, but community healthcare is quite good. The government provides insurance so that people can seek medical treatment in Austria and Switzerland. Additionally, there are insurance programs for the elderly, disabled, and social and unemployment benefits. Number 1. Liechtenstein's national anthem is identical in melody to the national anthem of the United Kingdom. Liechtenstein's national anthem is called Oben am Jungen Rhein. Listen to it and then come back to this video to like it and comment if you notice something familiar. It has the same melody as God Save the Queen, the national anthem of the United Kingdom, but with different German lyrics. Back in the 19th century, the melody of the British national anthem was actually used by some German-speaking states, including Saxony, Prussia, Bavaria, and Switzerland. 3 of them are no longer countries, and Switzerland has its unique national anthem. However, Liechtenstein still holds on to this melody and only changed the lyrics of its national anthem. So, we've explored the 22 weirdest and most interesting facts about Liechtenstein. Which fact impressed you the most? Remember to comment and let me know what you find most interesting about Liechtenstein, as I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Thank you for watching our video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with our latest videos. See you in the next ones.